Alright, guys, for everyone who has been long on the channel, you know that one of the first videos was with my dear friend Ali, where we are doing a little podcast just to feel comfortable behind the camera. Today is a special day. Today I turned 23, and that's why I wanted you to be on this video as well, because I wanted to do something, and that is I wanted to reflect on this year and just give the five most powerful lessons I would say that I learned this year in my journey. You are part of this as well, so that's why you are a good talker. So I thought people can learn from this as well. So let's just directly dive in. And one of them for me is seeing the power of a team.
Yeah.
Especially now you and I, we are doing a lot together when it comes down to work and all of the stuff. And I think a lot of people, especially me in the beginning, I underestimated the power of a team. So when I'm looking at the beginning, I always wanted to be the Bill Gates guy who just did everything alone, like behind my desk, and just I'm the guy who does everything. I don't need anyone. And then in a later stage, I read a book. It's Who Not How. I think I recommended it a few times. Yeah, where they talk about that at the end of the day, you can be the guy who works the entire day alone and all of the stuff. But if you compare those to, for example, four guys who are working with each other for a full year, in 1 year they will be four times further than you, and they had way more fun as well.
Yeah.
And this is something I really experienced with you this year, and with Ariel and all of the guys. Like having the right team and having the right people around you is such an important factor, especially when you're looking at, for example, during entrepreneurship, trading, or any journey. You will have a lot of moments when you don't feel like it anymore. So sometimes, for example, he calls me up and he is not in the right mind state. Sometimes I call him up and I'm telling him, listen, I'm just not in the right mind of doing stuff. And it's such an important factor that he then, when I'm looking at Ali, for example, Ali knows me in every way. So he knows me when I am very angry, but he knows me when I'm very happy as well. He knows me when I'm very dedicated, but he knows me when I'm lazy as well. And I think that's one of the things. How is that for you?
No, it's the exact same. Sort of the goal with working in a team, at least, especially with our one, is we try and help each other get into the flow state. So sometimes I'll call you and I'm, one of the classic ones is sometimes when you just can't get into a book, for example.
Yeah.
You just need the right vibe. Sometimes you have to get out of your environment. It's like, sometimes we'll be in the sort of bunker mode, and you can be in the bunker mode for a very, very long period of time, and it's very beneficial. But sometimes you might get sort of trapped. You might get what's known as cabin fever, where you need to get out of the house or do something of that nature to sort of shake up your brain so you can get engaged.
And I think especially when you're looking at this, so for example, sometimes I'm in the bunker for a very long time and sometimes you are caved up. But I think one of the most important things is getting perspective from other people while you are doing this. So for example, I'm sometimes in the bunker and then I explain to him what I'm currently doing, and he just says, Camille, it's jack shit. Like, you can do way better, but I think you are locked in way too much. Or for example, sometimes he is locked in so hard that I'm seeing that he is doing stuff that isn't really beneficial, for example. And I think, again, with the right team, you will get a lot of perspective as well. And I think that is one of the most important factors as well.
There is one thing massively, actually, that you helped me with, which was I was working on consulting projects for 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I remember both yourself and Vincent were trying to get a hold of me that week. And I was just, I've got no time, I'm really, really busy right now. And you guys basically very bluntly said, no offense, but like, how can you be busier? Like, too busy to see us right now.
Yeah.
And then I sort of went around yours and we looked at sort of my hours of working and what was efficient and what was not efficient. And the thing is a lot of people back home, friends of mine, they'll think to themselves, oh, you've got to, work yourself to death and that's the way to do it. But you need to be smart about your time.
100%.
And definitely for me, since coming back from England relatively recently, that's something that you helped me focus on.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people make the mistake by just making office hours. So for example, they are starting at 9 and then they will end at 5, even if they are an entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, it's not about giving yourself hours, it's about giving yourself tasks.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, and what you are doing as well, is you said, I'm going to lock in, and then you are just sitting at home, but you don't have a clear task. Well, at the end of the day, It needs to be a clear task what you are going to do in that day and what you're going
Yeah.
to achieve, because otherwise you can literally just look at the wall the entire day and
Right.
nothing happens.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at the second thing, I would especially say patience.
Yeah.
So this is something we've talked about a lot this year. When I'm looking at myself, of course, when you're a trader, you will learn some skill of patience. But the reason and the way why patience in trading is easy to eventually train is because you will have a certain system to do it. The only thing is when you're looking at your entrepreneurial life and all of the other stuff, my goal is to become a billionaire. So I want 2.4 billion before I turn 30. So this means that since today I have 7 years left to actually do this. So for example, a lot of people when I'm saying yeah it's my birthday, then they usually people are very happy, and I'm always like no because it means that I have left time to actually do
Exactly.
it. Well, at the end of the day, I think having patience and especially this year is such an important thing that I've learned, and this was from a religious perspective as well. When I'm looking in the beginning, when something bad happened in my life, I could at some points just always make it way bigger in my head and just always see the bad situation and that's it. But what I really learned this year is that it really doesn't matter what happens, because everything happens for you to grow in some kind of way. And it's really how you're going to see this. And now, especially, and then we come down to point one again, because when I had a setback, for example, I just came back to you, and then we were talking and chatting, and then it always came actually down to just patience, by understanding that it is all part of the journey.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think that for me is a very good one. How's that
Yeah. No.
when you're looking at it from your perspective?
I think it's the same with regards to patience, but I did actually have a question. When you're in situations where there's a lot of things going on and you need to focus back in on patience, is it just reaffirming sort of the word patience and that's how you gravitate towards it, or do you have...
No, for me
What's
it's
your
just
sort of thought
just
pattern?
so every time when I have the feeling like okay shit it's not going fast enough, I just ask myself okay where was I 1 year ago, and then it is such a massive change, because every day I wake up with the same thought okay I need to improve more than, or I need to become a better person than I was yesterday every single day. And because this compounded so much, and especially this year again, you will see that it of course when you're asking yourself this question, where were you last year, you will see that there's a massive change. And this is something that I just always do. I tell myself, okay, where were you last year? Massive change. So that's what I always do. And then I just think, okay, if I do exactly the same thing and I just work harder and harder and harder, I did the best that I can. And this is something I think just in general for yourself, we are very good in putting a lot of pressure on our shoulders. But you need to understand this, that there's one lesson, and that is you cannot do more than your best.
Yeah.
So if you gave everything, then that is as far as you could go. And that is something I just want to do. Like when I'm going to sleep, I just want to tell myself, okay, today I literally did everything
Yeah.
to become a better person. And I think that is the only way to actually build up patience, and same goes for confidence. When you're looking at confidence, the only reason why people are unconfident most of the time is because they are just shit at what they are uncomfortable about. If you're unconfident because you are broke and you don't have any money, okay, you need to work. If you are confident about something, you need to fix something until you cannot just until you build a stack of undeniable proof that you actually did it.
Yeah. No, I quite like that a lot. That reminds me of something that I heard a while ago. I don't remember exactly who said it, but it was the magic that you're seeking is in the work that you're unavoiding. So with regards to, if you're a chubby individual and you're insecure about that, then work towards that. But I have a genuine question that I'm curious about. We both read the book 12-Week Year.
Yeah.
How do you balance the philosophy of that with patience?
So again, when I'm looking at it, one of the things that I think is very important is having the right team in place who can be honest to you. I think if there's one thing very bad for your growth and just your entire journey, it's having people around you who just always nod yes instead of telling you what you need to hear. And you need to do this in return as well. So you cannot expect them to be the best friend to you and the mirror and all of the stuff if you are the yes nodder.
Yes
It needs
man,
to be both ways. And again, when it comes down to patience, I'm always tightening up my years. So how usually people do it in 2025 I'm going to do this and this. I just have for myself, okay, in the upcoming 12 weeks I'm going to achieve this and this, and then I have the right accountability around me to actually do it. And when you're looking at it, like I genuinely think that when you're looking at the 12-week year and just the power of 12 weeks, most people who really read that book and who really do something with the stuff, they can easily outperform everyone in 12 weeks instead of in 1 year.
Yeah, I completely agree. Thing is, you just said the thing about the yes man and the nodding, but everything you're saying I agree with, so I'm just in the back of yes, oh no. But I think what I quite like with regards to what you've said about teams is it's even echoed in the places that you go. I mean, we always come here because the team here is fantastic and it's like clockwork.
Yeah.
You know, they're laying out everything. I'm not sure if the cameras even picked it up, but
Yeah.
our table's completely changed in,
Yeah.
in the span of 30
During the
seconds.
video,
You
yeah.
know?
Now, when we're moving at number 3, I think this is one that I still struggle with sometimes, and I think this is something that you will always have, and that is to just put the focus on yourself and just focus on your own lane instead of comparing. I'm quite new to the influencing game and all of the social media stuff, and when I started this, of course, I don't know a lot of other influencers and other things, but sometimes I see something on YouTube or anything else. I don't follow any people on Instagram, so I don't scroll.
Yeah.
But sometimes you will still see some guys, and then you're thinking, oh wait, but they have way many followers, and they have this and this and this. And that's again where the patience comes, because then I see, oh wait, their first video was uploaded 7 years ago,
Yeah.
while mine is uploaded, I think, Ariel, 2 months ago, maybe 3.
27 October.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. So it's comparing 7 years of progress with almost 3 months. So that just doesn't make any sense.
No.
But I think that was very just a very big thing for me, especially this year. It was understanding that everyone has their own journey, and you shouldn't try to look too much at their things. Why? Because they have their own lessons that they need to learn at very different stages. How one, for example, might fuck up in the first week on a certain thing, the other one will learn it
Absolutely.
after a year. Yeah, I think comparison for me is a very important
Yeah.
one. How do you? What's your view on comparing
The
people?
The exact same. There's always that analogy, which is if you start going to the gym and you compare yourself
Yeah,
to
to
the
a
bodybuilders at the gym, and you start doing the exercises that they're doing, you're going to break your back, and
Yeah.
then you're not going to, you're
Yeah.
just going to say that life's not for me,
Yeah.
because you didn't appreciate that they've been doing that craft for 10 years or so.
Yeah.
But then on top of that is, with regards to, we'll use the analogy of bodybuilders, you may be doing the right exercises, but if you haven't learnt the lesson of nutrition yet,
Yeah.
then you're not actually going to get the benefits.
Yeah, and even
that.
if you do, let's say for example, you are a very small guy and now you know everything about the nutrition and the training itself, then it takes years before you actually achieve what he
Yeah,
he
exactly.
actually did. Same goes, for example, how I always look at courses. For example, you cannot expect to become the next Ronaldo the second that you lay down the contribution for the football club, because you first need to go
Train, yeah.
trainings, you need to go through the Sunday league, you need to do all of the stuff
Yeah.
before you eventually get there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, okay, wait, I see this Ronaldo out there, so for example a good entrepreneur, a good trader or anything else, and now you think, okay, so I'm going to buy the course and I'm going to be exactly like him directly. That is the thought that a lot of people have when they are buying stuff.
Yeah.
That is why so when you want to join my program, for example, there's an entire filter process why people need to join. So they need to convince me like why are you the right fit for this
Yeah.
program? Because I don't want someone going in thinking, okay, tomorrow I'm going to be rich, because you need to understand
yeah.
what it's like. And when I'm looking at this, like at the end of the day, it all comes down to the patience and the again, just focus on yourself instead of thinking, okay, I need to become this guy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because this is something I can start comparing myself to Ronaldo and do everything that he does, but at the end of the day, maybe I have way more potential than he has. But I'm not seeing that. Why? Because I'm limiting myself to him.
Yeah.
And once you are going to compare yourself to other people, you are always going to put yourself at their limits as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's a
that's an interesting way
Yeah.
of doing it. I've got a question with regards to the theme of teams. What are things that you sort of look for with regards to teams? Because I mean, we're currently like sat at a table
with the entire team.
with the entire team,
Yeah.
bar Vincent, you know,
Yeah.
who's not here, and some other individuals as well.
Yeah.
How have you sort of amassed this
So
collection of?
So when I'm looking at team, for me, you don't have to be the most skilled guy from the start. That's something you can always learn and improve. for me it's all character.
Yeah.
Like just higher character, teach skill. I think that is a very very important one. So when I'm starting with someone, again, for me it doesn't he doesn't have to be a track record of a king or anything else. Just show me that you are willing to put in all of the hard work, and show me that you are willing to, that you have the same vision as I have, and then we can do certain stuff. So when I'm looking at my entire team now, it's just a team of guys who all share the same vision. They all go along very well with each other. Why? Because they understand where we are heading to. It's like we're on a boat and we all love the destination.
Yeah.
So then on the boat itself, you always have something to work towards with, because someone needs to fix the steering wheel on the boat.
Yeah.
Someone needs to fix this on the. So it's like a sailboat. Everyone
Exactly.
has their own job.
Yeah.
And sometimes, of course, it bumps.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can argue on the boat, but it won't bring you further to the destination itself. And when we're going to the fourth one, this is one that Vince and Ruben told me. It's a very good one. It is never ever downgrade. This is something I absolutely love. That when I'm looking at this, like they told me, there's one thing or one quote that you should live by, and that is just never downgrade. So when you, for example, by accident went one time for, by accident, a level that was too high when you're looking at costs or anything else, or for example, when you by accident did business class in a hype, just tell yourself, okay, it's not possible anymore to downgrade. So it doesn't matter what you are going to do, you are not going to downgrade. If you by accident rent a house that is a bit too expensive, you're not allowed to downgrade anymore. And when you have like this baseline in anything, I started to implement this in my life, and I absolutely loved it. Because in the beginning it was like weird to understand it, because I tried to just get the sentence in my head and see how it could work. But then I was like, okay, I will just give it some time and see, okay, where can I actually implement this? And now, for example, when I'm looking at work, okay, I've just put in so much effort inside of a certain job. Okay, from now on, every quality that I do in this job needs to be that level, or I need to outsource it to someone who can do it better, or I always need to perform on that level. When I'm looking at anything, if I reach a certain level, I'm not allowed to go any lower.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking, for example, I'm turning 23 now. There's no way and no chance that this year can be worse than the previous year. Why? Because I know for myself, it doesn't matter what I need to do, if I need to log in, if I need to do anything, it needs to be better.
Yeah, it really reminded me of something else that you've mentioned to me before. I'm not sure if we talked about it in the last video. I don't really remember, but it was you're selective with words with regards to the difference between need and want.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, we talked about this in the previous video. But indeed, like when I'm looking at needing and wanting something, I think a lot of people they aim for like, yeah, and I want this and I want this and I want this, but everyone wants something. Everyone wants to be rich. Everyone wants to go on multiple vacations. Everyone wants to retire their family and all of the stuff. But one thing is nothing. Why? Because most people don't do anything about it to actually get it.
Yeah.
Well, when you say I need this, you are going to create steps to actually do it. So I am going to fix it to do it. So for example, I don't want this year to be great. It needs to be great.
It needs to be. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I like that.
And then we're going to the last one, and that is finding the beauty in discomfort. We talked about this in the beginning a bit, but once you really start finding the beauty in the discomfort and in the painful experiences itself, you will see how much it actually benefits you instead of how much it hurts you.
Yeah.
Like when you are looking at discomfortable things or uncomfortable situations, you will always think, this is going to hurt me in some way, because you didn't experience it before, for example, or it just feels scary. But one thing is for sure, once you actually did it, or once you actually do it, you will see that first of all, you were overthinking about most of the process, so you were just very scared for nothing. And then after that, you got a reward from something that you can now always do again. It's like having a certificate. It's just sacrificing the short term for the long term. So for example, with my teeth, I hated my teeth before, because during ice hockey and some fighting, they got knocked out, so I had a lot of fake teeth. And then I was like, okay, there are massive gaps now, and every time when I smile, it doesn't feel like very relaxed or something. I just want to fix it. And I made a very uncomfortable step, because my wife told me, Camille, you want it for a very long time, but you don't do it just because you're scared of the dentist. And I was like, you are making a point. Then she was like, you're just going to do it, and you're going to contact her now. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. In literally 4 days it was fixed, and I was scared for nothing. Like I was scared for nothing, and now I'm happy and I'm smiling the entire week. Like if someone tells me something sad
Yeah.
this week, don't do it, because I will smile. Just so you can see it. Like at the end of the day, it's always the pleasure itself, and what you said as well. It's just hidden in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Finding the beauty in that is a very good one.
Yeah, absolutely. There was one thing with regards to discomfort that someone told me. They said, when you're a kid and you're growing, your shins hurt so much. You've got genuine growing pains. Right?
And I think that's it with so many situations where in the moment it will feel like the world is ending. And I think like you can do so much more than you actually think.
Yeah.
And I think the book Outwitting the Devil is a very, very good one for this. It's a book that you can just pick up whenever you are in a place where you don't want to be in your head itself. And this was something, for example, I struggled with for a while as well. There was a point where I achieved a lot of things in a short period, and then I didn't have a clear roadmap in my head anymore of what I wanted to do. And what the book basically is about is, if you don't have a roadmap anymore, the devil can easily get you.
Yeah.
And it can very easily get to you. Why? Because you are distracted. You are not on a clear path anymore.
Yeah.
So you will get distracted, and then he will get you through certain things. Maybe it's through social media, maybe it's through a wrong relationship, maybe it's through anything. But once you are focused, once you have just a clear path and a clear blueprint, he cannot get onto you.
Yeah.
And this is something I really, really love.
Yeah. Just to interject really quickly, going back to discomfort, I know that people watching at home will be maybe in bed watching this on their phone or something, and they'll hear Camille mention a book, and they'll think to themselves, oh, I'll remember that. You won't remember it unless you write it down. At the beginning of this video, I didn't have anything to write down with, and usually I have a journal. It's unfortunately filled, and I have now a Trading Wizard journal, but I unfortunately didn't bring it. So now I just had to get a piece of paper, but what you can do is just pause the video. You have the luxury of doing that. Get yourself a journal.
But I think that's just a bonus one. One thing that I've learned, and that is from you, is the power of writing again. Like when I'm looking at myself, I did write before, but most of the things were always just still online or in my notes, for example. Well, when I met you for the first time, I always saw you with a notebook and a pen, and when I was talking to you, it felt sometimes like a FBI investigation, but at the end of the day, I saw the power of it, because the next time when we would meet up, you would say, and yeah, you said this in the previous thing, did this one and this one and this one, and that for me is the power. So that's why I always almost carry a notebook with me always. I fell in love with pens as well. You threw me into a rabbit hole of pens, but yeah, that is a very good one, guys. I want to thank you first of all for being part of my journey and being a follower to the channel. Again, I turned 23 today, and one of my biggest goals this year as well is going to provide as much value on the YouTube channel as possible. Like I mentioned, it needs to be way better than I was 22, but I want to go 10 times harder, so you guys are going to be part of the journey. You are still going to see Ali a lot. Ali, thank you again for being here.
Always.
Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you later.